Alright, here we go. Let's check out this trail. The Chinquapin Ridge Trail. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not sure who would know how to pronounce that right. The trail is located in Fall Creek Falls State Park. You can find a parking area at the trailhead on Highway 284 just south of the Cane Creek Bridge. The trail's a double track. It's probably an old logging road or maybe a fire maintenance road that the park has since turned into a mountain bike trail. The trail itself, definitely beginner, moderate, nothing to write home about. I'm doing it on a gravel bike, and I also am a roadie. I have no mountain biking experience, and this is the first time I've ridden this trail, so please excuse my handling skills. If you want to see what happens when I try to cross that mud puddle, keep watching to the end, and you'll enjoy the embarrassing scenes that I put in. So at the beginning here, a little soupy, a little muddy. It's July, it's not really that wet, so I'm wondering what this trail would actually be like in spring or fall when the area does get a lot of precipitation. I imagine it could get pretty nasty, so you may want to avoid it if it's been raining. But still fun trail, and if you don't mind getting muddy, go for it. It's nice and open. As you can see here, it's got plenty of room. You're not gonna be worrying about running into trees if you're like me and don't necessarily have the bike handling skills. The worst part of it, for me, was probably the initial descent. So as you enter the trail, you go down this hill, and it's fairly rocky and kind of washed out, got some ruts, and definitely something to be cautious about if you're not on a full-blown mountain bike. Once you get to this bridge, you're crossing Cane Creek, and you are going to start a long, not very steep ascent, but definitely a long ascent. I think I went up for at least 1.5 miles here. It's just slow, and it's going to get your heart rate up. But, you know, it's not bad. It's open. You don't have to worry about scrambling over too many rocks on the way up. There was one section that I slowed down a little bit too much on, and I had to come off the bike. But, you know, that's just the gearing of a gravel bike. If you're on a mountain bike, not going to be a problem. I've read a lot of reviews that say there are trees down all over the place, and I'm not sure how old these are, but apparently the park has invested some time in cleaning it up. When I went through here, there were obviously a few trees that had been cleared. You just saw one large one, but there was nothing significant across the trail. I think I only encountered one tree across the trail that I actually had to get off the bike for. The rest of them, even for me on a gravel bike, were easily traversable. Just go right on over them, no problem at all. So don't worry about that. If you're thinking you want to avoid this trail just because it's overgrown, it's come a long way apparently. It was very nice, as you can see in this video. There's just nothing to keep you from riding it. One thing worth mentioning about this trail, with all the tall grass, you're going to find a lot of ticks in the summer. I think I pulled 6 of them off of me on and at the end of the trail, a couple more when I got home, and the next day I found a small one that I hadn't noticed before that had actually embedded. So we're about to start our descent down to Cane Creek for the first real creek crossing. It's a pretty fun descent. It's pretty fast, and I pretty much rode my brakes down this because I just wasn't confident in my handling skills, and I didn't know what was going to be around the curves. But once you've done this trail a couple times and you're familiar with it, you could really flow down this descent and have a lot of fun. When you get to the bottom, I actually found quite a bit of water in the creek. I think it was at least a foot deep, and there were some significant rocks in there that I definitely would not have made it through if I had tried to cross on the bike. So keep that in mind. If it's been raining, you're probably going to get your feet wet.
Whoa, I don't think so. No, I would definitely definitely fall over in that.
You can see where I walk around the creek. It's easy to get around if there's this amount of water in it. But like I said, this is July and it's not been raining a lot, so I don't know how deep this gets in the spring and fall when there is some rain happening. After fording the creek, you'll cruise along for a little bit, and then we've got another ascent to get back on top of the ridge. It wasn't too bad. I noticed on this one, the only thing that made me come off the bike was a branch just up here that happened to be hanging across the trail. It looked small enough that I might be able to go through it, but I found out that wasn't the case, and again, another one of those embarrassing bits that I cut out of this, but went ahead and put in at the end of the video if you're interested. So this is where we finished the loop portion of the trail, and we're back on the initial climb. So we get to go down now, which is a lot of fun. Certainly better than climbing. And since I've already been up it, I know there's nothing to worry about around any of these curves, and I'm not having to ride my brakes all the way down, which makes it all that much better. I'm looking forward to riding this trail again now that I've ridden it and I know what to expect. I think it would be a lot of fun. I wasn't expecting to pass another guy, but actually met this cyclist on my way out. Looks like he must be camping in the park. He did a whole bunch of riding, and then I noticed the next day he was still over in Fall Creek Falls riding, so looks like he's having a great weekend. So that's it. Just got to finish up this soupy section at the end, and we're done. All in all, I think it was a really great trail. A lot of fun, even on a gravel bike. Super easy on a mountain bike. Definitely a beginner level trail, but a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. You could loop this thing 2 or 3 times to get some distance out of it, but even at a 6-mile distance, it's actually a pretty good little workout. You know, that first descent there, it'll get your heart pumping, and then, you know, you get to do some active recovery on the way down towards the creek, and got another little ascent coming out of there. If you looped that loop section a few times, you could turn this into a 10-15 mile trail and get quite a good workout out of it. I'm going to go ahead and put a link to the entire trail video. It's about 45 minutes long. I'll put that in the description if you're interested in seeing every bit of it. But I'm not gonna put that up because it's far too long and boring for anybody that just really isn't interested in seeing the whole trail. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you found the video informative. If you would, please consider subscribing to help me grow my channel. Doesn't cost you anything and helps me out tremendously. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next ride.
Yeah, immediately. Jesus. Well, shit. That's what happens. You try to go through stuff like that.